GM. Welcome to day 3 of DevCon, and I'm honored to meet one smart developer and builder from Fuel. Would you please introduce yourself to the community?
Absolutely. Yeah, my name is David Mihal. I'm a senior architect at Fuel, and yeah, excited to talk about what Fuel is and how it fits into the Ethereum ecosystem.
Yeah, welcome to Do Your Own Research podcast show, and would you please just share with us what Fuel is all about and probably a background story on EVM and what you're comfortable to talk about and why you decided to build Fuel.
Yeah. I mean, Fuel's been around in the Ethereum space, working on Ethereum rollups basically since rollups were created. Me and Nick, our CEO, and a lot of the early people at Fuel, we've been Ethereum developers for a long time, and I think we all felt back in the day we saw a lot of the congestion issues, the fee issues, these problems around Fuel, and Fuel was one of the first projects to come up with the idea of rollups as a way to scale Ethereum. Fuel launched the first optimistic rollup in 2020, like 4 years ago. And it's still to this day one of the only stage 2, one of the only real rollups that actually is decentralized and inherits Ethereum security, which is super cool. And then today, about a month ago, we've launched Fuel V2, which is a huge step beyond. I mean, a huge step beyond Fuel V1, but I'd say even a major step beyond all the other rollups that exist on Ethereum. Fuel's been kind of rebuilt from the ground up, whereas most of the other rollups, Arbitrum, Optimism based, they're the usual Ethereum virtual machine, but in rollup format. Fuel built a new virtual machine specifically for rollups. So it's a virtual machine that is, it's parallelized, it's super high performance. It's built on a new virtual machine. It has a new programming language. It uses UTXOs. So anyone familiar with how Bitcoin works will know about UTXOs. This is something that most chains have not used UTXO format, but we've used UTXOs, and I think that's been a huge part of why we've been able to get so much performance out of Fuel. So yeah, that's I guess the high level overview of what Fuel is, where we come from.
Wow, very high level. So I'm just wondering how you employed UTXOs on the EVM side. Could you please just explain to us what you mean by employing the UTXOs model in Fuel?
Sure. So if anyone doesn't know, UTXOs, it stands for unspent transaction outputs, and I think easy way to think of it is using most blockchains is similar to a database. It's like a spreadsheet. Everybody's account is just their address and their balance. UTXOs are a little bit more like cash. If I give you $20, but I only want $10, then you can give me back $10. You keep $10, or you keep the 20, things like that. So what that does, in the same way, imagine if there's one person keeping a ledger of every balance, and every time you want to give someone money, you have to go to that person and tell them to update the ledger. It'd be much easier to have cash. I can hand you some cash, and someone over there can hand someone else some cash. Those interactions don't have anything to do with each other. So on a blockchain that uses UTXOs, those two different transactions can be processed in parallel. This is different than, say, on Ethereum, let's say the USDC smart contract. It's like a computer program. Every time someone wants to transfer USDC, they need to run the same. They have to wait in line to use that same computer program that everybody else is using. So that UTXO model gives you a lot of, performance is probably one of the biggest things you get out of that, but it gives you a lot of other nice properties as well. It makes the state a bit smaller, so that means if you're running a full node for Fuel, it doesn't take up as much storage space as on Ethereum. The state needs to be put in this giant Merkle tree. You have this weird, crazy bunch of extra data that you need just to track USDC balances. So UTXOs let us get rid of that as well. They just offer a lot of nice benefits.
So UTXOs actually parallel. It's like parallelization of the transactions, and so things don't have to clog and wait for, let's say we're making a line to enter a room, we have to make a very long line to enter the same room. So what UTXOs does is it creates, let's say, parallel entrances to maybe a conference hall. Did I get it right?
No, I think that's exactly it. It's like,
Okay.
Ethereum is like everyone has to wait in queue
Uh-huh.
to use Ethereum. It's like one line to use Ethereum.
Uh-huh.
Parallelized blockchains, and again, there's a lot of blockchains today have some form of parallelization. They let you kind of let multiple people wait in separate lines at the same time. The UTXOs really make it easy, because the question is, when two people how do you like split people up into different lines? You can't have people in separate lines that are trying to spend the same money. So UTXOs are a really simple way to have what we call state access. They make sure that two people aren't trying to spend the same money or access the same piece of an application at the same time.
I remember writing some articles on Fuel like I think a year ago, and also making some videos on how to use Fuel, and some of the stuff that really impressed me was there was a way that you could also like make some NFTs with some cool astronaut-ish thing, and then also there was this function where you could post, I mean like I can't remember exactly what I was doing, but it was a fun thing that I was doing. So regarding that, what other changes did you make apart from what you did like over a year ago? Because whatever I was doing was very seamless, like just minting the NFTs was quick, fast, and the transaction costs were super cheap. Then also I remember bridging, I don't know if it was bridging, but yeah, I was bridging some tokens from another chain to the Fuel testnet, and that one took a little bit longer. So would you please also delve into that and the kinds of changes that you made about such improvements?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of changes have been made over the past year. I mean, so our mainnet only launched again about a month ago, and so a lot of changes went into that mainnet. A lot of them were, again, just around performance in general. If you use the chain today, it's actually remarkable like how cheap we are. I got to imagine we are the cheapest rollup to use right now. Fees are a fraction of a cent to use right now. So we've done a lot around data compression. We've done a lot around just optimizing our storage and our database and things like that. Yeah, in terms of NFTs, there's a lot of really great applications on Fuel right now. So there's some cool NFT marketplaces. We've got a good DeFi ecosystem. There's Mira is our biggest decentralized exchange, and Swayland is a big lending market. There's also a new one called Spark that just launched. There's a project called Griffy, which is super cool. They're a prediction market built on Fuel, and not only I think is it cool because prediction markets are still very hot right now. Right after just had the U.S. election, Poly Market is like all over the news. So prediction markets are very cool, but Griffy is also a project that really leveraged a lot of the special features of Fuel. If you build an application on Fuel, you can kind of do it the Ethereum way, or you can choose to do like really custom stuff with the UTXOs and with something that we call predicate to build really optimized applications. And Griffy did a lot of those types of things to build an app that's really cool and really performant, cheap and easy to use.
So on the developer side, what kind of applications are you looking for so that developers can probably build on the Fuel network?
Yeah, I mean, any kind of application is welcome. I certainly think, me personally, I think blockchains are most useful for finance, and I would love to see the DeFi ecosystem on Fuel continue to grow and continue to expand. And I think especially the kinds of applications I want to see are the ones like I just mentioned how Griffy is a project that's using that's really like they really tried to understand the Fuel architecture and build an application that takes best advantage of it. So any teams that really want to dig into UTXOs and predicates and learn how to build an application that's going to be really performant now and really performant into the future would be the kinds of teams that I would love to see building in our ecosystem.
Maybe just final touches. What improvements do you plan, or should we hold on? Like some improvements that you probably think that would even scale Fuel network much higher?
We've got a lot of improvements coming. I mean, a lot of them are just to continue our drive to be the most performant rollup on Ethereum. So, as I said, fees are super low today, and they're going to keep getting cheaper. We're going to keep increasing the amount of of block space that's available for our applications. We've got also a lot of like interesting features around things we can do to address user experience. Some things around gas fees. I can't touch too much on that, but you can look forward to that. And on the technical side, we're doing quite a bit of research into making our virtual machine more supportive of zero knowledge opcode, zero knowledge cryptography, so that developers who want to build some cool ZK stuff can do it really easily. And so we can become, even though our chain is not a ZK rollup, that we can become a chain for building ZK applications on.
This final question: what is the niche problem that a builder would attract a builder to build on Fuel rather than all the other L2s and other blockchains out there? Like, let me use an example. Like, what is the best use case of Fuel network that would make me probably move from another chain to come and build on Fuel?
I mean, as a user, I think you would come if just the user experience is good. There's nice things like we support any wallet. You can bring whatever wallet you have. We support natively the ability for applications to sponsor their transactions. From a developer perspective, you know, obviously they want to provide those user experiences, but ultimately they also just want to have that high performance. You know, some applications do. If you're an application that doesn't need like really high performance, maybe you're comfortable just doing it on using Arbitrum or Optimism or something. But you know, the applications like Griffy that really want they want to do a lot of small value transactions, I think we have the best architecture for that.
Right, thank you so much for your time. Probably you can just share with us where we can find you, if you're okay with it, and the Fuel social media handles, so that we can delve deep into Fuel and probably contribute like articles, and the devs out there can read the docs and also contribute. So where can we find such information?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at dmihal, that's DMIHAL, and you can find Fuel at Fuel_network.
Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of DevCon, and we're looking forward to you building more scalable solutions. Alright.
Thank you so much, just want to talk. Okay.